Welcome to episode 5 of Huddle Up at Home. Today I am joined by one of my favorite coaches and my brother, Zak Kromer, here for a siblings edition. So when did you kind of know that you wanted to follow Dad in his footsteps and be an NFL coach?
So it started at a young age. I was a ball boy back in the Tampa Bay days when John Gruden let me into practice. And so I started at a young age. It was always something I looked up to. I really don't know what else I would have done.
And what was that kind of solidifying moment that you were out there, either at training camp as a child or coaching at Oklahoma in college, where you were like, yeah, this is exactly for me, this is my life?
No, the good thing was that Dad always let me do whatever I wanted. I wasn't forced to do football, and I wasn't forced to do anything that I didn't want to do. So he opened up a lot of opportunities for me, and so did John Gruden, because he let me go in there as a kid and to be around other coaches' kids, be around the players, give them water, be a ball boy. It was so much fun for me just to be around the game. Then when I went to Oklahoma, Bob Stoops gave me the opportunity to be a coach, student coach with them, and I learned a lot from Josh Heupel and from Lincoln Riley. He's taught me a lot. So just being around the game, learning from these great coaches, all-time best like Bob Stoops, it's been a lot of fun so far.
And how did you choose Oklahoma over any other school that you had an opportunity?
By far and away, Bob Stoops. He was the man. He's a legendary coach, and he was taught me a bunch, and I already knew going in that he was going to be an awesome guy to work for. I want to be like him, and that's how it was just all about him and the opportunity there.
So what do you feel like you learned most from growing up in this league that you can now put towards your coaching profession?
That anything can happen, anything can change, and to be open to the change. Don't set your mindset on this has to happen this way. We have to get this thing done this certain way. You have to adapt and adjust at all times of the day, every minute, every second. You have to be ready to adjust and move on to the next challenge.
And what did you learn most from Oklahoma being a student coach, really volunteering all of your time, not getting paid, and just working that grind? But also, what was the outcome of that you really learned?
That it's not about money. You don't coach for money. You coach for the love of the game, because you like working with the people you have. You have good players. You have good coaches you're around. And that's what it comes down to, is you wanting to wake up every day and you go to work because you love it. You don't go to work because the money is an addition and it's a great thing to have, but you go for the love of the game. You go because you love the people you work with.
What did you learn most growing up in the league around John Gruden, Sean Payton, now Sean McVay, all of these legendary coaches that are going to go down in NFL history?
The biggest thing to learn from them is to watch how they do it. You watch exactly how they do it, and you learn the good and the bad parts. You learn how they go through hard situations, challenges, and you learn how they don't get too high when the things are going well. So it's just keeping that even-keeled demeanor and just going every day with a good mindset of how you're going to attack the day.
And obviously we had so many good times growing up in the NFL. My favorite, obviously, Super Bowl 44. We won with the Saints. We got to celebrate. It was great. What is your favorite moment from growing up in this league?
I think just being around people, just meeting legends, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, all the cool people you grow up watching as a kid, and really idolizing these people that are normal humans but are freaks of nature and freaks in a good way. And they're so good at their craft. They're just they're craftsmen at what their job is. If it's being a receiver, they work on their craft every day. If it's being a quarterback, everybody has their certain craft. And then seeing that all play out, like Drew Brees, just being the person that he is and being the player he is the coolest part about him.
And what was your favorite player growing up?
My favorite player was Brett Favre. Have yet to meet him, but might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. You never know. But Brett Favre, still have his jersey hanging up on the wall today.
And who's your favorite player that you've been able to coach or coached around?
Um, that's a hard one because there's so many good players, there's so many good people that you work with, and it all comes down to the person, and you just enjoy every day of the different people that you get to work with, different players, and the different challenges of different the way that they act, the way that they treat others.
So now being in the NFL, only a couple years, you've already made it to a Super Bowl. What was that whole experience like?
It was phenomenal. We got to just be a part of the biggest game there is on the planet. Millions and millions of people are watching. Just take it all in. And it was very special to do it with Dad, obviously, and just a special group. You never forget who you went to it with, how you worked with them. And it was just a great experience to be at the highest level, at the highest game. Too bad we didn't lose, but we learned a lot we didn't win, but we learned a lot from it that week, and we're just going to get better as time goes.
Did you feel like I didn't get any sleep? We went from experience to experience, and we had all these family things to do and these coaches things to do. You guys were working, preparing for a Super Bowl, biggest game of your lives, and we had to go take pictures on the field the day before. There were parties. I don't think you went to any, but I did, and it was a lot. Were you exhausted the whole trip? Did you actually get to bring it in? Did you get to take it all in and really enjoy the experience, or were you just like, it was like a whirlwind?
I was told before, take it all in, because it'll go by quick, and you may never get to go back. And so I was able to take it all in. I was exhausted. It was the end of the season. You're always exhausted during the season, throughout the season. It's the end. We've been working for 19 weeks straight of a grind, and you're tired, but you know that it's all going to pay off in the end. And it doesn't even cross your mind that you're tired because you're going in the next day with the right mindset to win the football game.
And what was the difference? We went to the Super Bowl with the Saints at Super Bowl 44 in Florida, and now we go with the Rams or Atlanta. You were just a kid going to the first game. It was a totally different experience. This time you're coaching in it. So what was really that difference? What was that feeling? What was it like to be also on both sides of it?
It was cool because now I understand when I have a family exactly what they go through and what the hardships are, what the good times are. And there's a little bit of both in all situations. So I understand the family side and I understand the coaching side now, to the highest game to the lowest game. So it really gave me a broader outlook of knowing exactly what everybody's going through, and just respecting everybody's position as a family and as a coaching staff and being one of the coaches.
And then now going from coaching in the Super Bowl, and then a couple years later, our offensive line was just injury after injury, and no one could stay healthy. It was really sad to see because we were just getting so used to being like, we've got the best offensive line in the league. They're all great. They're all healthy. We had no injuries the year we went to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
To injuries and adversity. What did you see in that team and in that room that really made them special and really get over that adversity as they did? They really, really pushed through.
Yeah, I think it's the mentality and them all being ready, the way that we practice, the way that we get ready for the training camp and we get ready in OTAs. It all comes down to how we practice, how we get ready for the hard situations, because everything's not going to be easy. It's you're going to run into adversity, you're going to run into injuries. You know that going in, and the healthiest team's going to win the Super Bowl or be in the Super Bowl 95% of the time. And you just see that the guys are working through it. They're all young. Well, besides Whitworth. And most of the guys are young. And just to see them work through it and come together as a team. No one quit on us. And that's the biggest part, is that we don't have quitters. We have people who are fighting through and going to fight every day.
And you're in those Zoom meetings now every single day with Dad, and hearing around the house, having to tiptoe around the house so I don't make any noise. What are those meetings like compared to what you would be doing in the office? How is that different?
The meetings are going good. The hardest part right now is not being able to stand up and show you and have them do it physically. Hey, you take a step here, you take a step here, put your hand placement here, and you just lose that. The meetings itself are going really well. We're learning a lot. We're going back through old film. We're taking our time doing it. There's no rush. So we're really diving in deep into each of our run plays, pass protection, pass plays. And when you get to do that, I think it'll help us as the season progresses. I think we'll be the most well-equipped team there is out there.
And what is your role specifically going into this season now?
I'll be working with the offensive line with Andy and Aaron. So I'll be drawing the runs, and I will be working with the rookies. So right now I'm working with the rookies, Zoom meetings. So is Andy, and it's going fairly well, as well as it can, without being able to go on the field, because the best coaching is on the grass. It's you get to walk through it with guys, get to put them through the situations. But without that, we'll put them through situations through the Zoom calls and through the Microsoft Team calls.
How many rookies do we have right now on our offensive line?
We have two right now. Tremaine Ankrum and Cole Cabral. We drafted Tremaine late in the 7th and got Cole in the free agency. So we'll work with those two guys, and it's good to see them when we get to finally see them and finally meet them. It'll be good to get to work with them in person. And
they seem like they fit in this scheme really well, and they fit with the character that you've built in this offensive line room.
Yeah, they seem like great guys. Off their college film is all we know, but their college film showed that they have a chance at being a good player for us, and we'll see when training camp rolls around or whenever we're able to get on the grass.
Hopefully it's soon, and we're hoping to be back with the NFL this season, praying that it starts soon and we can have football again and we can get back into training camp. Thanks for joining me. You're the best brother ever. Love you.
You're a liar.